The incident, by the way, we just saw the attack on from Eric Powell on Van Rompuy. Now we've got a drag race in front of the main stand by the pits. Powell just nose ahead, but the wrong line for La Source.
But if he sits back and lets Van Rompuy dive in deep, he can try and cut back underneath him, Anthony.
Van Rompuy got that one pretty well judged, and he wasn't allowing the switchback, but look at the straight line speed of that Mustang down towards Eau Rouge, and Radion, I think he's got the job done here, and he's through.
Oh, fantastic stuff. First ever race for Eric Powell at Spa. You could hear the grandstand responding to that. Door handle to door handle into Eau Rouge. What a good move. And you're right, I think the Ford, who was showing all the way from the start, it's the quicker of the two cars, and this is how it all happened.
He just had that momentum, didn't he? And a slightly better straight line speed saw him through. Van Rompuy judged that one perfectly in La Source. Nothing more he could have done. Well, look at that for a bit of bravery.
Fantastic stuff from Eric Powell, and Van Rompuy's now dropped back from the Mustang almost into the clutches of the Aston Martin behind.
We see the Ferrari versus Toyota into turn 5 round the outside. That's a brave move, but he just about gets through at turn 6. Brilliant move there.
And you can see from the side panels that was for 13th, so there was Antonio Giovinazzi going by Mike Conway, and Conway now under pressure from his own teammate Brendan Hartley for 13th. This is a team that's won here more than anyone else. This is not where we expect to see Toyota, and may not be where we see them in 5 hours and 28 minutes either.
Let's see, that's how Brendan Hartley watched his teammate get overtaken. So at this point in the race, at least, it looks like the Ferraris definitely got the speed over the Toyota, and these two battled each other all the way to the wire in Imola. Equal pace between the two cars there, but doesn't look to be the case here.
Okay, behind the safety car, I could have overtaken them.
Here comes our leader.
Oh, and this time, the Alpine and the Peugeot both close right up on Will Stevens.
Well, 4-car train coming here through at pace.
Well, Will Stevens had to really slow down quite a lot through Blanchemont, which is almost a flat-out corner, or can be taken flat out in a hypercar, so he lost all that momentum. And Habsburg was right back on him before the chicane. That's the closest these two cars have been. And here comes Giovinazzi down the inside of the yellow Ferrari at La Source.
And there's a touch.
Little bit of a shoulder shimmy just to give himself some room. And Phil Hansen going, oh, yeah, okay, you can sit there, mate.
Oh, sorry, it's Hansen, not Kubica. Apologies for that one, but he's through anyway. Through. So Giovinazzi is really on the move. He's looking quick. And I don't know what he's been able to do with those tyres in that car, so Hansen would be thinking about that one. But another move potentially coming up here as well before turn 5 at Le Combe.
Yeah, that's Rast on Di Resta just ahead of this little battle as well. So René Rast, I don't know if he got through on the Peugeot, but this is the view side by side into Eau Rouge.
The completely full grandstand. We'll have a literal grandstand view of that. Brilliant stuff.
But in doing so, on the exit of turn 9, they clashed into each other. It was on the exit, and it was because of Cottingham moving over to the inside. That's what caused it.
This is 007. Yeah.
Tingle going by the yellow Ferrari of Phil Hansen, and so Harry Tingle up into 11th place in the 007 Aston Martin. And Anthony, classic Spa, thrown back by the gear shift.
Well, this is the straight line speed of the Valkyrie, and using that to great effect. Number 83 dropping backwards here, Phil Hansen. I wonder, we've heard some drivers complaining about tyre temperatures not there for them and feeling it drifting away.
Here is the battle between René Rast and Brendan Hartley, and Hartley will be the race leader.
This is the battle for the lead right now.
It is,
Oof.
And Hartley does not have to stop immediately, whereas Rast very likely does. René Rast not wanting to give away track position.
René's been for fuel. René's got a 50-second stop on the against that car.
Okay, here we go.
So he's in traffic. Look at that. He had the momentum. Nothing that the Alpine can do to defend himself, and actually did the right thing not to defend at late notice. That that could have been a big crash there with such a high closing speed. So Habsburg using his brain and staying out of trouble, keeping both cars out of trouble. So it wasn't just the fact he was slowing down and losing time. He just lost the momentum, which is so easily done through that part of the track.
4 hours still to go. And that is Delatraz just about keeping it on the island as he makes the pass.
That's a great battle between these two here. And he was given the room. That was really fair racing. That's how it should be done.
This is the change for 4th place. Tom Fleming cuts back to the inside.
We know they got the straight line speed in that McLaren. Look at that. That was beautifully done. Well judged move on the switchback and giving himself the run into Eau Rouge. Really nice, precise driving there.
Now, this is silver driver Tom Fleming and bronze driver in the Corvette. So that's Peter Dempsey putting up a solid defence here, Anthony.
Yeah, and perfect. You know, had the defensive line on the inside, no more that he could have done, but then went a little bit deep into, as predicted by the McLaren driver, to do the switchback. And, you know, you always got to be thinking about the next step in this high-speed game of chess. It's great stuff. And this, you know, the power of players. We see a replay of this overtaking move, very decisive, round the outside. Late on the brakes, knew he could make the move. Nick Nielsen's absolutely flying, and it's such a shame for that pit stop.
Compared to their rivals, and Tom Fleming is showing exactly that now, shaping up for a move for the top 3.
Yeah, Adrian David, it was putting some cracking stuff too. Tom Fleming was a bit of a star change there between the 92 and the 33. How did that pan out to when he got down to Eau Rouge? The answer is the Porsche to the outside takes the position.
09's got in front of car 12.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? And
so,
the Ferrari is ready to go as well. So does Delatraz have an issue?
Maybe he had traffic going through Eau Rouge, but wow, we're going to see. Straight line, outbraked. What a great move down the inside into turn 5 at Le Combe by Alex Riberas. Brilliant stuff. There is a GT Mercedes back there. Did he keep it all 4 wheels within the white lines? Yes, I think he did.
Nielsen will never give this up.
It's a shame,
dog with a bone.
Oh, here we go.
Here's a chance again. The Cadillac, ironically, held up by the Corvette. Nielsen's on the inside. The Cadillac on the dirt, runs out wide. And in the end, it was a lot easier than Nielsen probably anticipated.
He was. He just got onto the marbles and didn't anticipate that. And with the GT car in front, that was the opportunity that Nielsen needed. He saw the gap open up initially down the inside and thought, yeah, I'll give that a go.
Well, away goes Robin Freins, and then Sebastian Buemi in the number 8 Toyota. The red car has not got by the number 19, but here comes 15. The BMW of Dries Van Toor dives on the inside. The poor Genesis Magma Racing driver goes, I'm out of this. Let me out of the way, let me out of the way, let me out of the way. He doesn't want to be in the way of any of this, Paul-Luc Chatin, but that was a great move by the BMW to dive by Charles Milesi. Dries Van Toor up to 3rd, and on the heels of Buemi, here comes the Ferrari, number 50 of Antonio Fuoco. He wants to catch Milesi by surprise as well, and behind him is the Aston Martin of Marco Sorensen, and Norman Nato has not stayed with the Aston at the restart.
Very little, 2.2 seconds for the good of Sebastian Buemi. Under pressure still from Dries Van Toor, Antonio Fuoco, and the rest side by side here between the Lexus and the Corvette. Again, here comes the Ford up the inside.
Logan
3 wide.
Sargent on the inside in the Ford. Jose Maria Lopez on the outside in the Lexus, and he gets by Nicky Katzberg.
What a move, and look at that, just on the dust, meantime, the number 88 Ford Mustang. Wow, they're leaving no inch. No, he's got the speed advantage in that car, doesn't have a tyre advantage. It really goes to show how, oh look, Fuoco's seeing an opportunity here around the outside. You can't let him get away with that. No, he doesn't. So that was well played by Van Toor. He goes from being the hunter to the hunted in just a series of 2 or 3 corners.
The field in this situation.
3rd place battle, Harter Racing Aston Martin just ahead of the Lexus. And so this is Esteban Masson all over the back of Mattia Drudi around the outside and up the inside at Eau Rouge. And here comes the 92 Porsche, the the Toyota comes through, so does the 15 BMW, and the Porsche has been eased onto the gravel. The Aston Martin went off track as well. Then the red and black. Oh my goodness! And the Ferrari with a run on the on the Cadillac. This is the 51 car of Alessandro Pierguidi, and he just went straight by. Was it clean, Ant?
Yeah, it looked good. You know, he dipped the car on the inside and put the that's why it was. I wondered how he got that run. Yeah, you know, he had wheels still on the track technically because he didn't put all four over the white line. Look at this. He lifted early and then floored it to carry the momentum. He judged that really well. The gap opened up. The car tries to come at Nato to defend the position, but Pierguidi was not going to lift. He was not going to lift. What can he do through Blanche? It's just a little bit too good. But he's closer this time around. Will he think about sending it down the inside? He did, but thought better of it just to the last minute.
Now this is going to be interesting. If he gets a good line here through La Source, this is now closer than we've seen before. This could be interesting with the rate of closure of through Rouge and Radion.
Might do it here until it begins here, at least in La Source, because once again Gounon had to defend, and he's going to be even more in the turbulent air of the Cadillac in front. Tincknell may want to back out of it here to gain that extra momentum that we know he can do. So you quite often see a car back out of it. No, he's super close. And I think he's going to be close enough here to, yes, now use the straight line speed advantage, surely to duck around the outside. Out-drag him before the braking zone into turn 5, and he's got the Cadillac in front. I think he's just done it.
Just enough. And Jules Gounon fought that with everything he had, didn't he? But now the positions are reversed. Harry Tincknell will now be in the wash of the Cadillac.
Oh, this is so hard to judge from Magnussen. He's flashing away. He's going to get one of them, maybe two of them before. Oh, yes, he's just dipped through there. Look at that. That's the move he needed to do.
And Kobayashi's dropped right back into the clutches of the Aston. Here comes the Ferrari, but Magnussen made the break, and the Ferrari still got a car to go by. Kobayashi and Gamble. Gamble right up behind Kobayashi. The speed of the Aston. He's got to keep it off the grass, Tom Gamble. He's all over the back of the Toyota. And Tom Gamble with speed up behind Kamui Kobayashi. This is for 4th place.